Okay, everyone. Is anyone listening to this broadcast? Because this is my first attempt at doing a live hangout show. Broadcast because this is my first attempt. I just got a lot of feedback there. This is my first attempt at doing a live broadcast using Google Hangouts. So, if anybody's listening, please type something in the chat so that I'll know that you guys can hear me. Um, because I am honestly not sure. It looks like I'm live, but can't be certain about it. Cannot be certain. Anyway, I thought I would talk about. Hey, good, you can hear me. There you are. Hey, fantastic. Excellent, excellent. So let's talk about the weekend, guys, gals. Let's talk about what happened this weekend because I got to tell you, I learned some very valuable lessons. First of all, if you guys have any questions regarding Pattaya or this weekend, feel free to put them in the chat. Using the laptop is actually far more effective than it is using the phone. I got my avatar up because I just got out of the shower and I don't think you guys need to see my terrible messy hair and all that good stuff. I learned something very valuable this weekend, and that valuable lesson was if you're going to stay in LK Metro in Pattaya. Hey, Tommy. Um, what attracts you to Pattaya? Well, several things. One, of course, the allure of the nightlife is there. I'm not going to say that I'm I'm not a partier or anything like that, but being in Pattaya, I met up with some friends. I do have friends. I have one friend that lives there. I have another friend that likes to visit there frequently. Um, yeah, so I go there and I hang out with them, and we go around to some of the bars and hang out and that kind of thing, and meet a lot of people. The food in Pattaya. Hey, Kev. The food in Pattaya is absolutely Giovanni. How you doing, buddy? You're going off topic. LK Metro. Yeah, let me get back to LK Metro real quick. So typically I stay in LK Metro, but I stay on the backside of one of the hotels there, whether it be our Rovers or another hotel. And when I say the backside, I mean the rooms that are on the backside of LK Metro. So the noise from that live music bar that they have and the go-go's around there is drowned out. You can't really hear it. You can sleep. This time when I booked a room, they were all out of rooms on the backside, so I had to get a room on the front side of LK Metro. Now, staying in the corner of LK Metro, um, the live music that is down below or coming from down below was absolutely insane. I did not even think about going to sleep before 2:30 a.m. And for me, that's just too late. I'm a little too old for that stuff, and I got to tell you guys, I was not happy about the situation. I stayed 3 nights in Pattaya, and I'll get to your question in just a second. Um, I stayed 3 nights. I got virtually no sleep. By the time it was time for me to leave today, I was pretty much miserable, and miserable from not sleeping. Not eating properly. I got a lot of. There's a really good place to get a massage in Pattaya. It's called Milan Massage, and it's not a sexy massage or anything like that. There's real professional masseuses there, and I went there every day. Got a massage, did a little facial massage at some of the places, and some of the stuff like that. Like I'm looking at getting some dental work done. Someone asked earlier what attracted me to Pattaya. The dental work up there is cheap, and there's a very good dentist that one of my friends have had some dental work done. Excuse me, and they've had really good things to say about it. So I'm thinking of investigating that more and all that good stuff. Now let's see. Let's answer some questions here. Ray says, hello, ever been to VIP massage and spa on Soy 10? I have not. In fact, Ray, I don't think I've ever made it to Soy 10, to be honest with you. Chris says, Jeremy, great channel. Love your videos. Keep up the amazing videos. Thank you, Chris. I very much appreciate you tuning in. And I shot quite a bit of video this weekend. I'm going to have quite a bit of videos to put out over the course of the coming week. One of the videos is going to be specifically targeting of the understanding that Pattaya or Pattaya, however you say it, however you want to say it, is not Thailand, and it is not reality. That is the key. Is it not being reality? I'll get back to that in a second. Carrie says, stayed at the Grand Alley across from the Frog Bar. I'm a poor sleeper, but had no issues. The beer may have helped. Yeah, I bet the beer did help. I don't drink, so I don't get any help when it comes to sleeping or anything like that. But I will definitely look at the Grand. I think I know where the Grand is. That's near LK Metro, I believe. I think I've walked by it a few times. Richard, Jeremy, I'll be in Pattaya September 2nd through the 9th. Will you be back? Grab a beer? Absolutely. If I'm there, we can grab a beer, man. I actually met up with a guy who was staying close to me, and we hung out a little while and had a great time. He had much more experience in Pattaya than I did, and was able to take me around and show me some stuff. Let me tell you about my trip I took. I went to the Wooden Temple. Thai-tastic. I think you were telling me I should go check that out. I can't remember the exact name of it, what the specific name is, but they call it the Wooden Temple. And I went there. It was absolutely amazing. I took pictures of the carvers, the carpenters that are carving that stuff out. The majority of them were women. I was really surprised, and they were very, very talented. I mean, you're talking about taking a chisel and a hammer and carving out this huge temple. I mean, it's huge, and the level of detail is just out of this world. I'm going to have a video that'll be coming out sometime this week for sure on that. The two main videos I want to get out: Sanctuary of Truth. That's it, pal. That's it. It was absolutely beautiful. It was breathtaking. It really was. I will let you guys see in the video just how incredible the level of detail is. If you've never been there, it's phenomenal. It really is phenomenal. But we had a great time. We got some food while we were there. Drank some coconut juice. Actually, they have it's made from tech, I believe. I don't know what that is, but I take your word for it, Ty. I assume that's some kind of wood. But these guys were working hard. I mean, hard. Try Secrets Hotel next time. Room 208 Soy 14, Walking Street. Great hotel. I have been to Pattaya now 4 times, and I have still not been to Walking Street. I was actually going to go, but I've heard that it's just another walking street. Like, for example, Angeles City in the Philippines, I went to Walking Street there, and it was just disappointing, to be honest with you. Building it since 1984. Yes, I read that. Yeah, I assume you're talking about the Sanctuary of Truth, pal. I read that it had been being built since 1984. There was a ton of bamboo scaffolding on this thing, and I was really genuinely surprised at the people that were standing on this like homemade bamboo scaffolding tied together with I don't even know what it was tied together with, but they had some big kahunas to get up there. That's for sure. So I did go in a few bars last night. Before I left, I was, like I said, with a friend, and I really have not checked out any of the bars in LK Metro up until this point. Will you ever go back to the? Oh yeah, I'm going back, Giovanni. Definitely going to go back at some point. There are some issues in the Philippines that I need to clear up before I go back, and that's not going to be a problem. Those wheels are already in motion. And it has nothing to do with the Philippine people or Philippine culture or anything like that. Just a few little things I need to make sure are straightened out, and I will definitely be going back. There are still many places in the Philippines that I am dying to see. El Nido being one of them. The Palawan as a whole, the entire island, I want to see. I would like to go down to. I have not visited Samui. I think that's how you pronounce it. Joe, I have not visited that. I would also, El Nido is really a place on my bucket list. I've been to some of the beautiful places up north, but I definitely want to see Cebu again. Um, Absolutely, because Cebu just kind of feels like my second home. It was the first large city that I lived in outside of the United States, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was just a great city, and I still think it's a great city. Um, but going back to the weekend and the nightlife, I was able to accompany my friend, and I went into a few of these bars and got to see what they were really like. Philippines bound. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Uh, Grab a beer and dinner. Yeah, Giovanni, if I get there, man, it probably won't be anytime really soon, but when I come, I will definitely have videos out about it, or I will let you know via Facebook Messenger or something like that. I'll put a notice out. Just logged on. How's the weather in Pattaya now? I don't know. I'm actually back home. It was raining a little bit when I left. And if you guys didn't catch my live stream over the weekend, when I got to Pattaya this weekend on Friday, we got about 5 minutes from LK Metro, and the bottom of the sky just fell out. I mean, it was like God just took a huge piss all over Pattaya. And everything I had got soaked. I mean, thank God I had my pack safe equipment, because my camera was in there, my laptop was in there, all of that stuff was in there. So, it was I was very grateful that I had that stuff. Um, and I'm not gonna blow up promoting my Amazon store or whatever, but there's always a link in the videos to my Amazon store. If you guys are thinking about traveling, you can go over there and always look for equipment that I have in the shop. Even if you don't buy it from my shop, if you use that link to purchase it, Amazon sends me a referral kickback, so always helps out. Giovanni, 6 months to a year. Yeah, that'll be. I should. Oh, I'll definitely be back there within a year. No question about that. Um, and I still have friends in the Philippines that I want to go see. So I'm looking forward to going back. Just like I said, got to straighten out a few things before I go, which shouldn't be a problem at all. Excuse me 1 second while I take a swallow of Pepsi here. So, in terms of the nightlife, I thought I would share with you guys. I was far less disappointed in the nightlife in Pattaya as I was with the nightlife in Angela City. Um, the women in Angela City were, it was like, I don't know, it was very depressing. I did a video about it. It was, I walked in some of the bars, some of the clubs in Angeles, and just sat and drank a Coke and, watch the ladies on stage, and they don't really dance. They just like do this little movement type thing back and forth. And it's just like, okay, very non-emotional. Doesn't look like they're having fun. Looks like they're just there for, specifically for work, and that's it. And it's just, if you're a guy and you're going, I mean, my intention wasn't to pick up one of the girls. I was simply there for the experience. But if you're going in there to pick up one of the girls, then you want to see a little bit of excitement or enthusiasm or something. What the Thai women like? Well, if you can get past the language barrier, they're pretty cool. I actually met a girl walking through LK Metro last night and hung out with her for a while. She was really, really cool. She spoke enough English that we could communicate with each other. Very, very attractive, pretty girl. And yeah, so made another friend, and hopefully in the future, I'll get to see her again, because she was really nice, and I very much enjoyed my time there this weekend. If I would have been able to get some sleep, which brings me back to my original point. If you're going to stay in a place like LK Metro, if you're going to stay anywhere where they have live music, be sure to stay on the back side of whatever condo you're staying in, because if you stay on the front side, even though I had a balcony and I overlooked LK Metro from the corner, like, it was a great view, but no sleep at all. Um, what are you guys doing over there in the chat? But it made it very difficult for me to have a good time because, like, by midnight, I'm usually ready to just go to sleep and be done with it. Um, but I was not able to do that, and because I wasn't able to do that, then early in the mornings, if you've ever been in Thailand, I don't know why they do this, but even in rural Thailand, early in the morning they walk around with these little squeezing horns, these little horns that they squeak like clown horns. And about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, there are people outside blowing these horns trying to get you to buy stuff off of their little makeshift carts that they have attached to a motorbike. And you know it, it's like really at 7:30 in the morning. I just went to sleep at 3:30. 4 hours of sleep is not going to do it for me because I'm not really one to sleep during the day. And I did a lot of shooting. I shot a lot of time lapses. I took a lot of pictures. I did more on the photography side this time than I have in the past. And I also did more looking at the nightlife city. Jordy says, Angela City or Pattaya, what would you choose? Nah, there's no question. Definitely Pattaya. For me, definitely Pattaya. Simply because there's just more to do in Pattaya compared to Angeles. There's more to do, and it just seems that the people, even though you're in a place that is like escaping reality, um, if you stay in Crystal Room above, go there on LK rooms have double glaze. Really, I'm glad you said that because I saw an ad for $26 a night on Agoda for Crystal Suites, and I believe 112 Bangkok 112 just did a review on that. And he did a review on the room, and the room looked amazing. Like, it looked amazing. I was really thinking about doing that, but I thought about the fact that it is literally on top of the go-go. So I was thinking about me being able to sleep and whatnot. What I'll probably do is when I go back in a couple weeks, I will go back and try to stay at a place like that. Pattaya, right? Yeah. I didn't. I never really paid attention to where he was staying. I watch all his videos though. I really like his channel. I love the way he narrates and that kind of thing. He's got some really good storytelling skills, and I enjoy watching him. But I'm going to try that Crystal Suites, and just simply out of the fact that the room looks so nice. I think it would be cool to stay in a really nice room because typically I stay in our Rovers most of the time because it's cheap. You can get a room on the back side of LK, and the music doesn't bother you. Good morning, Dave from California. I hope I'm not interrupting your work schedule, buddy. This is, by the way, guys, this is just a little for me Monday night stream. I'm going to be experimenting with different times to stream, that kind of thing, because I don't know what the best times are. And I'm actually going to be offering some private live streams coming up, as well as additional content, things that are probably not suitable for YouTube. I'm going to be offering an additional site for you guys that really have been sticking with me and that kind of thing, and that are interested in having better access to not only more content, and not just in terms of video, but in terms of information and live streaming, more personalized stuff. And we're actually going to use an app called Signal, which is an encrypted app. And I want you guys will have first shot at all communication. It'll come before Facebook Messenger and all of that stuff. So I got some of that stuff coming up, and I'll give you more information on that. How long you stay in Pattaya and where you go afterwards? So I stayed this time 3 days, and I came home. My home is about it's a few hours south of Pattaya right now. Want to ask about a few things. Live stream. Yeah, Giovanni. So I'm going to get into those private live streams, and I'm going to explain how all that works. I've already shot the video that I'm going to put out that explains everything. It's just going to be a few more days. Great weekend, lots of great stuff. It was amazing. It was wonderful. It was great. Were you in Pattaya as well, Sharps? Because sounds like you were there also, or did you just have a good weekend somewhere else? But I had a great weekend, guys. I really did. If I could have got some sleep, I would have been. It would have been perfect. It really would have. Um, Going into some of the bars there in Pattaya, which is not something that I've done before. It was much more energetic than a place, let's say Angeles or whatever. The girls were friendly, I mean, they were doing their job and that kind of thing. But yeah, I didn't go home with the girl or anything like that, but they were doing their job. As long as you're sitting there and you're drinking something, that's really all you have to do, whether it be a Coke, a bottle of water, or whatever. And you can enjoy the show for as long as you want to. Now, I'm not going to sit there for, 30, 40 minutes and just stare at girls on stage. That's kind of boring. But I wanted to see what the inside of these places were like and what the atmosphere was like. And I got to do that. So I have to say that, if you're a guy and you're coming over and that's your scene, I would highly recommend Pattaya over Angeles any day of the week. Went there 3 times to Thailand, Phuket. You should go scuba diving. It's amazing. I have a deathly fear of breathing underwater, Jordy. I have a deathly fear of it. I'm trying my best to get over that. People have told me they have this mask now that's you put on your face, and it's like the whole thing, so it covers your nose as well. Because I always had a problem putting a breathing piece in my mouth and then trying to breathe underwater. It was terrible. So, Sharps, you were somewhere else. Uh, okay. Phuket, yeah. So I have a break coming up in about the middle of October, and my plans are to go to Chiang Mai and Phuket. I'm going to take the overnight train from Bangkok to Chiang Mai, and doing that simply for the experience. I've heard a lot about the uh, the overnight train, and what it's like, and it's kind of a, I don't know, like a rite of passage sort of. Atlanta, Georgia. I got some friends in Atlanta, Sharp. So I bet you did have, I bet you did have a good weekend. A lot of my friends from Atlanta are always talking about how great their weekend is. If you didn't know, I'm from right outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. So I'm not far from you, about a 4-hour drive there. And Atlanta's a really interesting city. When I first started in photography, Atlanta has the world. I don't know if you guys know this, but the world's busiest airport is Hartsfield Jackson in Atlanta. And I went on a trip there shooting the planes. When I say shooting, of course, I'm talking about with a camera. And I shot some of the nicest aviation photography shots I've ever shot in my life. It was absolutely incredible. And then the nightlife in Atlanta is also really, really awesome. There's a lot to do. It's expensive, but it's awesome. Eli, what is up, my man? How are you, sir? Um, but yeah, guys, this was just kind of a I don't know, a little test run, sort of. I'm using Google Hangouts for the first time, and hopefully, I will be able to get some people to come on here. Um, Hopefully, I'll be able to get some people to come on here that will also talk about their experiences in Thailand or in the Philippines, and we can get a few people together. Tastic, I don't know how you feel about coming on a live stream, but one of these days, if you want to join in, you seem to have a lot of experience in the Thailand community, and I'd love to have you on sometime. And any of you guys that want to join in on a live stream and have a mic and are capable of doing so, please let me know and try to get you on a live stream at some point in time. But I was looking and I didn't want to run, way up. How about Vietnam? Vietnam is probably going to be the next country on my list for sure. Um, I don't know when that will be. There are a lot of variables that depend on that. I don't know how long I'm going to work a full-time job here in Thailand. So a lot of that depends on, a lot of that depends on really the job situation here. The good thing is I definitely want to get this one school year under my belt, and make sure that I have all that experience, because whether it be a corporate job, a teaching job, they want to see the 2 semesters and the work experience related to whatever field it is that you decide you want to go into. And after that, I should not have a problem getting a job, anywhere in Thailand, doing whatever I want to, whether it be teaching or working in. You can actually work here as a graphic designer, photographer, but the photography has to be limited, because photography itself is on the do not work list for foreigners. It's kind of complicated. Let me catch up with you guys' comments over here. Ty, yeah, good. I'm glad you said you would come on. I'll definitely have you on at some point in time. I'll communicate with you, and we'll set that up. Giovanni would like to do the Chiang Mai. Yeah. What about Japan? You know, Japan doesn't really interest me that much for some reason. I talked to a few people that have been to Japan, and it just doesn't seem like a place that I would, really enjoy going to. But at the same time, I don't know that. So I'll do research on that. My mission right now is to cover Southeast Asia. That's my mission. That's my 5-year plan is Southeast Asia. Jordy, I would not put your number on the live stream, brother, or lady, whoever you are. I'm not sure. But want to go to Chiang Mai. You can always message me on Facebook Messenger. Look me up on Facebook Messenger and get in touch with me there. Eli says, I'm in Vietnam, Saigon. Hit me. Oh, yeah. Okay. I planned around April to take a trip to Saigon, actually. So I will definitely be in touch with you, man. That would be very, very nice to have someone to help me kind of understand Vietnam. And I understand the visa situation is a little bit better over there, or a little bit easier over there. Cambodia, I haven't been to Cambodia. It's definitely on my list. I have been to Laos, but only for a few days. So I want to go back there and try that. Viet girls are great, but you need to put effort. They won't fall all over you just because you're a foreigner. Well, that's interesting. That's a really interesting comment. Japan is one of my favorite countries. Cal, I would love to hear your reasoning behind that. Not that I disagree, because I've never been to Japan. I just, from what I've heard about it, and again, this is just what I've heard, it doesn't seem like it would be a place that I would really enjoy. However, that is my perception, and as we all know, perceptions can be misconstrued all the time. Gio, you just messaged me on Messenger. Okay, that's cool, man. I don't see it coming through yet, but it probably will. Ty says, if you go to Chiang Mai via bus, make sure you get a VIP bus, essentially a coach with 24 seats that got ripped off. Sold a local bus that had no room and took 14 hours back in it. Wow. First, I'm going to take the overnight train from Bangkok to Chiang Mai. I want to do that experience. I think that would be really neat. I took a bus, a 15-hour bus, from Bangkok to right outside of Savannakhet, Laos, and I forgot the name of the city that we went to. It started with an M in Thailand, but it was a 15-hour ride, and I was on the VIP bus. I was on the bottom deck because I didn't want to be up top and have all the back and forth. I actually slept pretty good on the bus. I was really surprised at how well I was able to sleep on that bus. I probably slept a good 8 hours. So it was it was definitely worth it. It was a yellow bus that I took. Japanese women are so difficult. I've heard that. I've also heard some crazy things about Japanese women. Like, they do some weird stuff in Japan. Frang is not a specialty anymore. Yep, I guess not. I've heard that they have in Japan, you have to pay like $200 American or something to cuddle with a girl for an hour or for 30 minutes. they do it. So, just weird stuff like that. And a lot of taboo culture in Japan, is my understanding. If I'm wrong, you guys please correct me. But I'm thinking that the taboo culture would probably be a little weird for me because I'm not much of a taboo type person. I don't get into really taboo things very often. There may be a few things, but not. I'm not going to pay 30 minutes, or I'm not going to pay $100, $200 to cuddle with a girl for 30 minutes. That's for sure. They do. My ex was weird. So, Giovanni, are you saying your ex girlfriend was Japanese? I assume that's what you mean by that. Um, Japanese women, in my opinion, are very attractive women. I mean, they really are. Um, but they seem very standoffish, and I don't know. It's just my perception. Yes, been to Japan. They have strange activities, anime and crazy stuff. Dress up. Yeah, that's what I see when I look at YouTube, because YouTube is my starting place when I start to think about going to travel and that kind of thing. And I see that stuff, and it's just a little bit too taboo for me personally. Cal, the underground bars, the culture, easy to get around. The people after you get to know them. You have ski resorts and also nice beaches. Wow, I didn't know that. I know you had ski resorts there. That would be cool. The women temples, best food in Asia. Now, the best food in Asia part um, sounds really interesting. That sounds really interesting because I have a very hard time with the Thai food here. The spicy food it does not agree with my stomach. I have to, order non-spicy things, and I really have to go out of my way to make sure that I don't eat, normal Thai food. Unfortunately, Japan is a closed society. Philippines Bound says, I've heard that. I've heard that Japan is a closed society, and that makes me a little bit nervous, or maybe not nervous, but apprehensive in going there. But it would definitely be someplace that I would definitely check out Japan at some point in my life for sure. Giovanni, they're very picky women. They do dress up cosplay. Yeah, I'm okay with the cosplay stuff. Like that's to me that's just like an artistic expression. Um, but I've heard about the pickiness of the women, and I've also heard some stuff like they don't really marry there anymore. They don't really like have relationships, like boyfriend girlfriend relationships. It's all just based purely on sex, and I don't know if there's any truth to that. I'm just telling you what's been told to me. Great place to ski is Japan. I would love to go to Japan and ski. That would be that would be awesome, to be honest with you. And I would love to hear more about the beaches in Japan, because I wasn't aware of any. I'm really not up on Japan at all, as it runs out of the border of Southeast Asia. So my focus has been Southeast Asia for the last year and a couple months. Um, it's a shame you were driven out of the Philippines by a bunch of psychotic You should go back. Nothing will happen to you. Well, I don't think nothing will happen to me either. Is it Cato Master? Yeah, Cato Master. Um, that situation is something that has been addressed. It is currently being addressed uh, legally. It is currently being addressed. And I'm going to be sure that when I go back, my attorney will be able to go to any type of arbitration that needs to be had, and we'll be able to settle whatever needs to be settled. And I can just move on, because I'm not gonna stay out of a country simply because there's a couple crazy people running around there that just want to make my life hell. So they actually did me a favor, because Thailand is absolutely incredible, and I love being here. But I do appreciate your comment, Kato Master. Very much appreciate that comment. Eli, Japan is nice but too expensive, and the women are a little crazy. Southeast Asia is where it's at. Well, I know Japan is more expensive because I've looked at the cost analysis and cost of living analysis. So I think that for right now, Southeast Asia is more in my budget for sure. Giovanni, that's how I met my ex. She was a cosplayer. I took 7 photos and send to me, do you want to be my boyfriend? laughing out loud 3 years later. We're still together. That's cool, man. That's a good story. I like that. I really like that. But yeah, guys. I love the women in Japan. Most are normal, but like Southeast Asian women more. Yep. The Southeast Asian women are to me, they're very unique. The women of the Philippines are unique, and I love me some Filipinas for sure. I love the people of the Philippines for sure. I love Thailand for sure. I love the people here. Um, it's about a wash really as far as niceness and that kind of thing. I find it a little bit easier to get along in general here in this country, but that's not saying anything negative about the Filipino culture or the people. It's just the people that I associate myself with. Um, get back to the Philippines, forget them dudes. It's coming, Giovanni. It's definitely coming. It's just when you have when you have older men that um, when you have older men that have nothing but time on their hands, they get very creative, and they expend a lot of energy on things that they really don't need to expend energy on. And some of that is, control, power. A lot of these guys come from a work life of control where they had authority and power. And, they're used to having that. Now they don't have it anymore. So they have to look for people whom they perceive to be weak and vulnerable, such as myself. And then they exhibit that control and power over somebody like me. The sad part, well, it's not the sad part. The good part is there is no control over me, and there is no power exhibited over. They were successful in getting me out of the Philippines because there was no way I was taking that kind of chance for absolutely nothing. But all that's in my book is over with, done with, behind me. I'm moving forward with it. Like I said, I had the legal help I need, and I'm going to move right forward and come back to the Philippines just as soon as everything is cleared up for sure. The Devil's Den. Do you know Mr. Lee Chill? I actually saw that place for the first time last night. I did not engage with any of the women there, but I have heard. Now, this is the place, Devil's Den, the guy that Mr. Lee Chill is talking about. They actually have a van service that you can get in with 2 women, and it will take you from Pattaya. Hey, Larry, what's up, buddy? It will take you from Pattaya to Bangkok or Bangkok to Pattaya with 2 girls in a van by yourself. And I was told that all the women who work at Devil's Den are bisexual. That's what I was told. So if you get 2 women in a van that you're paying big money, I'm sure you have to pay big money for, traveling, that 1.5 to 2 hour trip between Bangkok and Pattaya, no matter which direction you're going, one can only imagine what's going to happen. But I saw that place last night, and I started to check it out just to see what it was all about. I may have to do that next time. Kato Master, I think those loser guys just wanted to use their editing skills and equipment because they don't have your talent. Hope you go back. You're very good at editing vlogging. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that comment. I'm not sure. To be totally honest with you, I'm not 100% sure what their reasoning behind doing what they did was. Perhaps jealousy, perhaps some envy. Maybe. I'm not saying that's what it was, but I can tell you with absolute certainty that it got them nowhere. And, it is what it is. Eli says either Thailand or Vietnam are better than the Philippines. Don't waste any more of your time there. Hey, Jack. Good to see you, buddy. Sorry you just got here, man. You might want to catch the replay if you get a chance. But, there are good things about the Philippines, too. I can't speak on Vietnam. I haven't been there. But I will return to the Philippines because I found some value in the Philippines. I really did. Not only in the places and the scenery, like Casawan Falls was just absolutely beautiful. One of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Sagada, Baguio is just a beautiful, beautiful city with tons and tons of things to say. Haters be hating. That's true. Very true, Larry. So I will be returning at some point, and I want to go back to Cebu. I really like Cebu. Cebu is a city that I can go to and just hang out and chill, and I really feel comfortable there. So yeah, I'll be back at some point. Joseph, you're in Bangkok. Yep, I spent the better part of 3 months in Bangkok, and I absolutely love it. When you come to Bangkok, take your dinner. We can definitely do that. Contact me via Facebook Messenger, and we can definitely set something up. In fact, there's a good chance that I will be in Bangkok this coming weekend. Not sure about that, but if you'll contact me on Facebook Messenger, I will let you know, Joseph, for sure. Philippines bound, a lot to see in the Philippines, absolutely. I would even go as far as to going down to the Mindanao area and some of the places down there. Obviously, I'm not going to go, way, way south and hang out for any length of time. But there are many places in the Philippines that I have not seen that I would love to go see. Saigon, Larry says, Saigon sucks. It's like a giant version of Khao San Road. I hope not. Full of backpackers, but Hanoi is cool, and so is Hua Hin. Okay, Joseph, make sure you do that. I can't speak to Vietnam, but there's a guy in here that's I think Eli is in Vietnam. Try to get out of the backpacker district, Larry. Yep, he's in Vietnam, and there's an Australian guy who I believe is currently in Australia. He has a channel. It's called Triangle Hat. He was just seemed like a really nice guy. We commented back and forth a few times, and he lived in Vietnam for a while. Can't remember the city that he lived in, but he put out some really interesting videos, and he had a few things happen that he had to go back to his home country. And I really hope that guy puts out videos again, because he was really good, and I enjoyed his videos on Vietnam. They were mostly talking head videos, but he gave some really, really good information. You have an actual microphone. Well, let me tell you, how do I say your name? Subarashi Gaming and Tourism. I'm using a headset, actually. It's a cheap little headset that came with my cell phone. It has a mic built in the cord and 2 earbuds. That's what I'm using right now. And I didn't know I could have been using this the whole time. So go figure. Learn something new every day. I've been to Cambodia. What about there? Would you go there? I'm definitely going to Cambodia at some point, Kato. For sure, going to Cambodia. I just don't know when that's going to be. I'll probably do Cambodia and Vietnam over the break in April, most likely. Ty says, I'm planning to visit Taiwan. Oh, yeah. Let me tell you about Taiwan. It's like Thailand in the old days for a visa 3 months off the bat. Well, I only spent about 17 hours, and I spent it in the old section of Taipei. But I have to tell you, that was one of the coolest experiences of my life. I had a 17-hour layover in Taipei, and I got a hotel. I was completely by myself, completely alone. Got somebody at the airport to help me. Now, they speak Chinese or Mandarin in Taiwan, and there were the oldest people there that were just so freaking helpful, man. They helped me so much. Didn't really speak English, but if I pointed to them on a map what I needed, they were like, one of the guys even walked me probably, I don't know, 10 blocks until I got to the street where the hotel was, and then he pointed it out to me. So I'm definitely interested in going back to Taiwan. I would like to see more of the country, and I definitely would like to see the new section, what they call, New Taipei, because there's New Taipei, Old Taipei. I only got to see the old part. There are pictures up. If you guys want to check out my Instagram, it's Jeremy.Clodfelter on Instagram. There are pictures up from my trip to Taipei, and I got some pretty good photos while I was there. It was very, very interesting. Larry said, I miss Dead Frank's vlogs too. He just dropped off. Did he drop off? I haven't seen I haven't seen the last vlog I saw of his was he was headed down south, and then I really haven't seen anything else from him either. But I enjoyed his stuff too. He had good information. Larry says great food in Taipei, almost as good as Singapore. Singapore is on my list. Definitely want to get to Singapore for sure. I've heard some really interesting things. I actually have been to the airport in Singapore, but have not got off. Or I've not gotten outside the airport. Definitely one of his favorite. Jack's talking to another guy. What's the Girlie situation for Taiwan? Anyone? That is an excellent question that I can't answer. I wasn't there long enough to see, but I do know that I did meet a few girls in Starbucks when I was there, and they were super, super nice, and they were obviously college age, and they spoke a little bit of English, and they were very easy to get along with. Very easy to get along with. So I imagine it would be good. Singapore equals expensive and bring your own girl. Oh yeah, bring your own girl. So I guess no bar hopping in Singapore, huh? Cal Dead Frank usually drops off when he's in Australia in the back. Yeah, I noticed that last year he dropped off for a little while and then came back. So I think you're right, Cal. Singapore, Penang, and KL are must sees. Well, Kuala Lumpur is definitely on my list as well. There are just so many things to do here in Southeast Asia, so many places to go. And of course, all that traveling requires a lot of money. And I'm working on ways to diversify my income so that I can get out and give you guys more content from more places. But right now, the focus is going to be on Thailand. And in terms of focusing on ways to get you more content and that kind of thing, we're going to be building a community, guys. So if you want to be part of that community, it'll be completely optional for you. If you missed the beginning of the stream, I was talking about I'm going to be doing some private live streaming. I'm going to give you a private way to contact me personally. Also, we'll have a private closed Facebook group that is even unlisted so that I can post some of the behind the scenes stuff in terms of nightlife and things that YouTube would probably deem inappropriate. We can share through a private Facebook group. You guys can answer each other's questions, talk to each other. I'm going to be doing all that within the next 2 weeks. Let me catch up here. Hot fun and great food. Did I mention hot? Yeah, I've heard it's. I've heard I mean, you're down. Is Kuala Lumpur? Is that near the equator? It's got to be near the equator. I just don't know how close it is. But it's probably pretty hot. I know Cebu was a very, very hot place. Very hot. And I think that was relative to the location it is near the equator. Travel to Koh Larn costs 30 baht each way on ferry from Pattaya. Forgot to mention that to you. Oh, yeah, is Koh Larn, is that the island off the coast of Pattaya? Thai-tastic? Is that what you're referring to? Because I was going to go to an island this weekend, but my friend, you guys remember Steve, right? From the videos. He was there and he got really, really sick on Friday night. We were going to that island, whatever the name of the island is. We were going there on Saturday, but he got really, really sick and was unable to go. So I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. Yes, that's it. Okay. That's definitely on my to-do list for next time. So I will be catching that. I've also heard, guys, that there is a ferry that will take you from Pattaya to Phuket. Do any of you guys know anything about that? Because if I can put my scooter on a ferry and go from Pattaya to Phuket, then I will be all set in Phuket. That way I won't have to rent one. South Korea. I would love to check out South Korea. My best friend is probably going to wind up teaching in South Korea. She is a multilingual speaker. She speaks about 6, probably 7 languages now. And she's looking at teaching in South Korea. So that'll give me a really good reason to go visit. I've heard that it's very expensive, Larry, for sure. There's a ferry from Pattaya to Hua Hin. Okay, to Hua Hin. Well, Correct me if I'm wrong, but Hua Hin is not that far from Phuket, correct? I'm not sure. That's on the other side of Thailand for me, so I'm not 100% sure. But Hua Hin is another city that I want to visit, particularly for the food. They have a Facebook group called Hua Hin Foodies. So if you guys are ever over in that area and you want to get some great food, please check out that Facebook group. So drive your scooter from Hua Hin, but that would be hell. Okay, so maybe that's not a good idea. You can ferry hop from there to Krabi. I want to go to Krabi. I definitely want to see that place. That's why I'm planning on being in Thailand for at least, I'm going to say 2 years, because it's going to take a long time for me to see these places, especially working. No, Hua Hin is about 4 hours from Bangkok. Yes, correct. That's what I've heard, and I've heard you can get there by bus. Is usually the best way, or I would assume also minivan would be a legitimate means of travel, Larry, to get from Bangkok to Hua Hin, but I'm not 100% sure. So that's it, guys. We're going to wrap this up. I really genuinely appreciate you guys coming on. 9 hours by car from Hua Hin to Phuket. Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely not taking the scooter then, man, for sure. So thank you, gentlemen and ladies, if there are any in here. I want to thank you guys for coming out and being so supportive of the channel and the things that I'm doing. Like I said, there's going to be a big community involvement coming up within the next 2 weeks, and it will be optional for you guys. If you don't partake in it, it doesn't change anything. If you do partake in it, I think you're going to find a ton of value in what I'm going to offer. Otherwise, I wouldn't be offering it to you. So good night to everyone, or good morning to those of you in the Western world. Appreciate all of you once again, and I'm going to close this thing out. Thank you so much for coming, and I will see you guys on the next live stream. Everybody take care.